Right, so I've changed the covers for this winter. I think these are going to be a better option. There was a good deal going, I'd say it's still on now. Some of the bigger tubs you can get 2 for 3. They're not that expensive, and you can get the small cloches as well. They're under €10 and they're a heavy duty plastic. They're made for plants. You can get these in Woodies. So just for the small stuff that I'm going to bring on over the next couple of years, they're going to be kept dry. I did have covers over them. They were the clear perspex, and they just kind of got blown all over the place. So these tubs here they cover all the sides and the tops, and they're a heavy duty plastic. They're not going to crack over winter. At the moment they fit perfectly, but over the next season or two, like when the small ones outgrow their cloches, I can just move these ones. So there's different sizes, small, kind of middle. This is a large one. You could drill some large holes to let the moisture out. You don't want to necessarily. Today we've had really good weather. I think this is an 80 litre. So there's a lot of stuff here that I will be covering these up, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to make up a box with the corrugated sheets that I did have over these ones, and it'll be boxed properly. So all these dry arid bed plants that like it dry, they'll be going in here. And just some heavy rocks to weigh them down. They can handle any of the temperatures, but you can see that once the sun comes out or it heats up, the moisture builds up, which is not going to be good for them. So you can see with this one here, this agave, it's got the ventilation here and around the sides. So what I will be doing for these ones here, I'm going to prop them up just a little bit so there's no condensation. There's a hole here in this one. So this is an old cover in the house, and I just got the idea, go with these covers here. That's the cloche. I have to fix that up at this end. At the moment it's actually keeping it clear, but I have to put a cable tie or something in there. That's RIFRA. That was over the small Princeps, which is doing excellent now. This is the Argentinian palm. This is having a hard time settling in here. Yeah, so all the condensation is not going to help. So it's going to have to breed. This palm, the Trachycarpus campestris, that's not going to like it doesn't like any damp conditions. But if we can get a couple of years where the roots can get in, it's not even a full year in the ground, so it's barely started here. This winter I'll be covering the nanas, even though they are supposed to be super hardy, But you can see when it's been raining cats and dogs here, and the ground is soaking wet, but the palm is bone dry, so that will help it over the winter when the worst of the conditions come in. So I nearly finished off this path here now. This was the path. It was very narrow, but once these palms and bamboos and everything start to come out, start to droop over, it's going to start taking up that space. So I'm going to want this space here. I'm going to be redoing all the gravel here, all the way down and across here with a much bigger diameter stone. So here's the Trachycarpus windsand. It was absolutely tiny when I got it, but it's starting to throw out new fronds. Another spear coming here, but it's bone dry under the cloche, and all these leaves here are dry as well, which will help insulate during the rain. So I'm just letting it breathe for the moment. Uncovering it because today is just, temperatures have shot back up. We're getting a sunny day. Okay, so I have some of the papyrifera here that I took out of the chicken pen. Some of them have multi trunks coming up. They're all individual. I'm not going to separate them. So I'm going to start. They're going to be in the tunnel over winter, and next spring then they'll be added to this bed here to add the big jungle foliage. Cannas have come back down, and they're going to be going in under the bay there, the roof. I'll put a heavy mulch on them. Here's the rest of the papyrifera. So I don't know if they'll all make it through the winter, but hopefully I can start putting them down into the wood. Right, so the Trachycarpus, these are the small seedlings that I picked up over the summer. I have some of my own here, some really strong ones, and they'll be going down these will be going into the wood. Right, so I have single Trachycarpus dotted all over the place, coming down the left hand side, coming down the right hand side, some in here, across this pathway that links both sides. Put a waggy over this side, and that's the Fortunei that I brought out of the chicken pen there a couple of weeks ago. And down this left hand side I've added the multi stem Trachycarpus Fortunei. Basically all individual stems that just grew out of the one pot. So there's going to be a heavy cluster. There's one there. Another one here. And down here there's another one. The first ones that I put in on the pathway back up. I have them staggered left and right. There's one here, and I have another one here, and I have one here, and they've settled in perfectly well. So I was out today, back over to the garden centre, and I've added a few on this side here just to balance things up. So these are the multi trunks, Trachycarpus Fortunei. There. There's one here. I think they all have about half a dozen, 6 or 7 trunks coming out of the end there. So it'll have a very different look to a single trunk. And here is the one here. So when those smaller palms that are in the tunnel get a bit bigger, I'm not going to be buying any more Trachycarpus palms. That's it now. I can start planting with a bit more space, a pod of 3 or 4 around the centre, in between the middle and the left and the right, going up and down. Right, when I said I wasn't buying any more Trachycarpus, I meant the Fortunei. But still in the plans were 2 large waggy palms. So earlier in the year, these 2 small waggies went in here, on the left and on the right of the pathway. But in between them, I'd like to put a much larger, so the growth is like all the fronds they're not all at the same height, that I can get fronds up here and down low as well, and just the leaf itself, the frond of the waggy, can have a much better impact on the pathway as you come down.